what does Mr. Xi Jinping mean actually by comprehensive, modest prosperity for the Chinese economy? Li Fen.
I think habitually, I think every generation of Chinese political leaders have to have some kind of a political manifesto. Mm-hmm. So my understanding of it is that President Xi Jinping decided for comprehensive, a very new concept in China, and will be his in a way that his task list, it is a way of saying that after 30 years of Chinese reform, especially in the economic arena, there's a number of key areas that he needs to actually tackle and to make China and go forward.
What about the comprehensive, modest prosperity?
Modest prosperity, I think, I think among those four comprehensive, I think modest prosperity is one of the tasks that I think China will be quite comfortably realized. I think China has already now entered into a middle-income country, and so I don't really worry about that one comprehensive, but I do have questions about three others.
Victor.
Well, actually, the term moderate prosperity comes directly from Deng Xiaoping. He emphasized that by the end of the last century, China should have quadrupled its economy based on that of the late 1970s. Then, in the first 25 years or so of this century, the 21st century, China should reach the level of Xiaokang, which was translated into moderately prosperous society. Now, what does that mean is not well defined. When Deng Xiaoping was asked what it meant for the first stage, he mentioned $1,000 per capita. Now, China is way above that figure by now. So I would say comprehensively reaching the goal of achieving moderate prosperity for China need to be further fine-tuned. For example, we can come up with a hard number for per capita GDP, for example, or indicating a basket of indices where the Chinese society need to reach. And also, by emphasizing comprehensive, it means no one should be left behind. The overwhelming majority of the Chinese people should get the benefit of the moderate prosperity society.
Yes, I think I totally agree with what Victor just said. I think probably we need to redefine what exactly means by prosperity, and especially modest prosperity. And obviously, I think one issue which China now should try hard to tackle is the income disparity, especially not only from occupation to occupation, but also in terms of a regional income disparity. I think probably China also need to be very specific on some of the tasks.
The next most important and comprehensive regarding Xi Jinping's theory of his administration, of not only the party, the ruling party and the government, is the relationship between rule of law and the party itself. And a lot of liberals in this country ask almost the same question over and over: whether the party is above the law, or the party, first of all, helps establish the legal system within which it is expected to maneuver. Now, still not a clear definition has been given comprehensively to convince the skeptical audiences and the readers as to the role that the Communist Party of China should play in navigating its own course of modernization. Victor, what's your take?
Well, this debate, or sometimes hair-splitting, has been going on for many years.
Why do you think Mr. Xi Jinping says this is a political trap for the ruling party?
Yes, because the question normally is whether the party is above the law or above the Constitution, or whether the Constitution or the law should be above the party. But I think, if you keep debating like this, you really corner yourself into a dilemma. I think President Xi Jinping said the right thing. He basically said the Communist Party of China is the representative of the Chinese nation, so the rule of law should be conducted under the rule of the Communist Party of China.
Li Fen, what's your take about the analysis of those scholars and experts who follow very closely what Mr. Xi Jinping actually means in building the rule of law, particularly after the fourth plenary session of the 18th National Congress of the CPC.
Yeah.
The emphasis and the spirit of that landmark conference was about the rule of law itself.
I have to say, I have to confess that I have difficulties in understanding this particular concept. It is a new concept. And but my understanding is that the timing of it, of raise this particular issue so comprehensively, I have difficulty in comprehending it. The reason is that, of course, I think the role of the Chinese Communist Party is in the constitution. But what people have been asking, both inside China as well as internationally, is that can China actually have a superstructure, super legal structure, by which the conduct of the party, be it a one-party leadership, can also be assessed or even ruled. So my feeling is that I really hope one of us is a leading member of the Chinese Communist Party committee. For example, people who has been in charge of ideological affairs can be actually sitting in our chair in actually helping improve our understanding of this very concept. For me, if China really want to go forward, become an integral part of the global society, I really feel that we need to have some kind of a legal concept by which all the people, all the country can share some similarities. And it seems to me this particular concept for me is a very Chinese style.
What do you think of the Chineseness regarding definition of rule of law and its relationship with the party?
I would say in China, the rule of law or democracy that we have and we will have in the future are very much carrying Chinese characteristics. That means we need to look at the circumstances, political and economic, ideological, for example, in China as they are, rather than trying to challenge the realities in China. Therefore, I think as far as the Communist Party of China is concerned, they need to conduct themselves with all the discipline, with all the awareness of abiding by the rule of law, and not breaching any constitutional requirements. On the other hand, I think this whole debate as to which one should be on top of the other one should also not lead to the situation where the coherence and the effectiveness of the Communist Party of China as the ruling party of China is weakened or eroded to such an extent that we lose this core leadership